Welcome everyone to our first Facebook Live for Puerto Vallarta Feast Site 2019. As all of you know, registration will open up this Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And since we're less than 48 hours away, we thought it would help ease some nerves if we walk you through the registration process and what you expect this Sunday. Now, this is pretty self-explanatory website, but there is a few little details that I think this video can help you with. We will be using the same website as last year, but we have made some changes to it. So it's good to watch this video so you can see what the flow will be and what changes we've made. Hello everyone. I see a few people are joining in. We have Natalia Anguiano. She is the housing coordinator this year. She will be answering a lot of your questions. So just feel free to type in whatever questions you might have along the process, and she will try to reply as soon as she can. So as you can see, we have, right now, if you go onto the link, which is going to be regpax.com/VallartaFOT, which is also on the link on this website, you will see, oops, the page was not found. So we have not activated the website. This will happen at 8 a.m. on Sunday Pacific time. If on that day you're going to log on and you're going to see something very similar to this. So it will have our logo, Feast of Tabernacles, Puerto Vallarta 2019. And it's pretty self-explanatory. Again, you'll have a login button and a create account button. If you register last year and you want to use that same email address, you will have to click on the login button. If you didn't attend last year, you will have to create a new account. So let's get started. You will see some links up here. They say general information. This is a very informative page. Pretty much everything that you need to know is under this page. So if you have any questions, just go to your general information. The feast program schedule, we're still working on it. As soon as it's available, we will upload it and you can always access it here and print it out. And then we also have a contact us page that you will be able to see once you log in. So let's get started, and we're going to create an account. This is going to be a test account. So you're going to see it says account owner first name. If you see these red circles, this denote that it's a mandatory field. So you will not be able to move forward unless you fill out all the fields that have this little red circle right next to it. So make sure you pay attention to those. So let's test. Let's say this is John, and then last name will be Test. And then your email is John at, let's do test200.com. And then we're going to create a password that needs to be 6 characters. And then you can say keep me logged in. It makes it a lot easier so you don't have to keep entering this information. So you can choose to do that. If you're in a public place, probably just keep that off so nobody can get that information. And then we can do sign me up. When you do sign me up, it's going to take you to your initial application. So right away, this is what you need to fill out on Sunday. So you will have several instructions. This is the first step to apply to attend the feast. You can fill out one application per head of household. So if you have kids attending that are still living in your home, you can select as many rooms as you need for a max of 3. If you are trying to register maybe your grandparents that don't have computer access, then that's fine. You can also put them under one account, but we don't want different households with the same account. These will create problems in the long run with refunds, with your hotel information, ground transportation. So try to make sure that each account just is for your own household. You can call people, tell them that day on Sunday to register, so then they can have their own information. Their credit card will be safe under their own account. So this is a big change this year. So let's so just make sure that it's just one application per head of household. So It's going to carry over your first name from your original registration, from your creating account page. So let's just do, you're going to enter your street address, city, state. Then you're going to select your country, which most is United States or Canada. And then your phone number. It's going to be, you can put your area code if you're in Australia or the UK. If not, it will just, you can just put 1 for the US. And then we will just fill out the rest of the phone number. So again, very self-explanatory. Now, religious affiliation. So we need to know which group you attend with. Is it United, COGWA, Living, RCG, or other? If it's other, it's going to open up a section and you can put the name of the group that you attend with. You also will need to add your pastor or local elder in charge of your congregation. So in my case is Gary Smith. And the church is located, we're in Houston, Texas. And then, does everyone in your party attend UCG? If yes, you click yes. If no, then please provide additional information. Maybe your spouse attends COGWA, and you can just specify that on the comments. Next, we need your room information. So on the number of rooms your party will need, you can have up to 3. Now, if you sign up for 1 room and you want to change this later, you can send us an email, but you will only be approved for the amount of rooms that you state on your application. Once the site is filled up, it's very hard to add rooms. However, if you don't pay a deposit for each one of the rooms, those rooms will also be canceled after 7 days. So just try to use, we're going to have a lot of people this year, so we're trying to consolidate rooms, see if you can find roommates, and then only ask for the rooms that you actually know that you're going to use. So we can have 1, 2, or 3. And then total number of people in your party that will register under this account. So it might be 2 parents and 3 kids. If you have a party of 5 or more, you will need to register for at least 2 rooms. You can only have up to 4 people per room. So you will have to split up. Let me check on the volume. I'll try to talk a little bit louder and see if that helps. So the total number of people in your party. So let's say this account will have 6 people, and that should include also infants. Then we added a section this year for roommate information that is not part of the same household. So a lot of people can are trying to share rooms with people from other congregations, and that is allowed. And we just ask for you to only fill out 1 application per room. So if you have 4 roommates, everybody attending together, only one of you needs to take the lead and fill out the application. So if you will be sharing, you say yes, and it will open up and you can add the first and last name, roommate affiliation, roommate number 1, 2, and 3. You can have up to 3 roommates in your room, and you can just add where they attend. So it might be Jim Smith, and he attends UCG in Seattle. Okay, so we just need to know the names. This is very important. So if one of them fills out another application, we at least know that those are duplicates. So please make sure that you fill this out as much as you can. You can add people later on. That it's okay. You will have to come in here and fill this out. They don't need to be approved individually by filling out another application. So if you don't know, but you can always put tentative or looking for someone also. And here is a checkbox if you would like to share a room with someone else that is also looking for a roommate. So this will be for people that maybe they're single, they really want to attend, they want to share the room with someone, but they haven't found anybody yet, we can put a database together and try to match people up. So that's a service that we will providing this year, so we can consolidate more rooms and so more people can attend. So you can check that, and then we'll get in touch with you as soon as we have more people that are also looking for roommates. Then we have other information. Are there any members deaf, hard of hearing in your party? If yes, then you just add their name. And then if no, just click no. Any additional information you would like to provide. So if there's anything else that we should know that you think would be important for us, then go ahead and fill it out. And then you just submit step 1. And then that's it. That's your initial application. So that's all you will be doing on Sunday. So very, very straightforward. Now, you're going to go, once you submit it, it's going to take you to your dashboard. Your dashboard is like your home page. Here's where you're going to be able to navigate through all the forms, through make all the changes, make payments, anything that you could possibly need for the feast is going to be under your dashboard. So let's go through it kind of quickly. Here's your account overview right now. So right now, because you haven't been approved, you don't see any payments. And the only progress that you see is your step 1 initial application. If you need to go back to your step 1 to make changes, you can click on it and it will take you right back to it. So then you can make changes. Now, once you are approved, we cannot change the amount of rooms that you have. So we cannot add rooms. We will be able to remove rooms, but we will have to do that on our end. So let's go back to the dashboard. So you will see this progress bar. And once you're approved, you will see that you're going to have a lot more options in this area. So if you have just completed your initial application, please wait for an email of acceptance. The email will be from Fiesta Vallarta 2019. So please check your spam. It can take up to 3 days to receive your email of acceptance after registration opens on April 7th. Once you're accepted, you can log in, come to this page, and begin your full registration. So on Sunday, you can also read through the registration steps, final payment, room rates, registration guidelines. You can take your time and read all that. It's also good for you to go back to the general information, take a look at that. There's a tab for the contact us. You can send an email. That's our preferred method, fotpv2019@gmail.com. You can also text message if you really need something urgent. Otherwise, please just send an email. We're all volunteers and we all have jobs, so it's hard to answer the phone in the middle of the day. So just keep that in mind. So going back to the dashboard, I'm going to go ahead and approve John Test 200. So you can see what the form is going to look like once you are accepted. So I just need 1 second. To do this. And once you're accepted, you're going to receive an email that says that you have been accepted and you can log back in. If not, you can just refresh your screen if you're still logged in and you have been approved, and you can also see, you're going to be able to see the rooms that have been added to your registration. So let me approve. John. Okay. So there are 2 ways. After you are approved and you get your approved email, you can go ahead, and I'm just going to refresh the screen. And now you're going to see that this area showed up. So if you haven't received your email and you logged in and you see this, that means that you have been approved. So you don't need to send us an email. You just keep going with your registration. So if you keep looking after 3 days and suddenly you just come back to your account, check. If you see this part that says housing information, manage room, and then you see complete registration, that means that you have been approved. So what this means is John Test, he asked for 2 rooms. So now he has been approved for 2 rooms. This is their first room and this is their second room. It will say no name given because I will not fill out the registration for you. You need to do that. Once you fill out the registration, this room will change. And this will be the name of the main person that at check-in has to register at the hotel. So when they check in, this is the name that we're going to give the hotel that the room is under. So you have complete registration. You have additional options here. Go to registration, add product, view order, view payments, and delete room. And then you also have your status bar. This is very important because this is how you're going to navigate from one form to the next. So right now, pretty much nothing has been completed. You have housing information, volunteer opportunities, ground transportation, and then payment. So we're going to go through these forms so you can get familiar with it. This is your step 2. Once you're approved, once we activate these links for your room, you will have 7 days to fill out these forms and pay the deposit. If we don't hear from you after 7 days, if this is still no name given and we haven't received the $300, we will just delete this link and your room will go to somebody else and you will have to apply again and send us an email. Okay, so it's very important that this year you complete this area, this section, as soon as you're approved. So let's try and go through step 2. We're going to go to our first room. So we're going to complete registration, and this will take you to housing information. This is the same page that if you log out and you log back in after you have been accepted, the account is going to take you straight to the step 2 housing information. So if you see this, once you log in, it's because you have been accepted. If you want to go back to your dashboard, you can do that and you can access the same form by clicking on complete registration. So let's go through this form. Again, very self-explanatory. Probably your first room registration is going to be for you. You will use another family member for the second room. Maybe your wife needs to be in that account because you have more than 2 kids. So let's just go with the first person, the head of household, and you will tell them how many people will be staying in this room. So maybe on this one we have 2 people and we have 1 adult and 1 child and no infants. And then we'll just do John Test. And this person has to be over 18. That's why you don't have another option, because we need the main person in the room to be over 18 years old. Then the second name, this will be the child. So it will be, we can call him Timmy Test. And then his email address. This is optional. You don't have to put it, but maybe if it's your spouse, she would like to also receive emails from the website. So you can add their email address if you want to. Now, since you put that this is a child, we're going to select child from 7 to 12. And then it's very important for you to fill out their age. This is going to help us planning for Sabbath school, also the gifts that the kids are going to receive. So please make sure that you fill it out. So let's say Timmy is 8 years old. Now, this is the most important part, number of nights. You have to calculate this correctly. This is what's going to drive your price. It's not the check-in and check-out date. It's going to be the number of nights. Most people will arrive Sunday and leave on Tuesday. That is 9 nights. Okay? If your flights change and you're arriving a day earlier or a day late, you got to come back to this number of nights and change this. So it will take you, if you are going to actually leave on the last great day, it's going to change to 8 nights. This is how you change the pricing in your cart. Now, the check-in date for most people is going to be October 13th. And check-in starts at 3 p.m. And then most people are going to leave on Tuesday, the 23rd. Actually, the 22nd. And this will be 9 nights. this section here, do you wish to upgrade to a room? A lot of people are worried about the view on the room. The only way for you to secure a full ocean view is to be in the tower, but it is on the 7th floor, so you will have to take elevators. These rooms are upgraded. They're junior suites. They're a little bit bigger. So if you would like this option, you just say yes, and this is what's going to add $25 a night to your cart. If you decide you get to your cart and it's too much, you come back here and just say no, and that will take it off. Then you're going to select the type of beds that you would prefer. So 1 king size bed or 2 double beds. Triple and quadruple rooms will only have 2 beds, so 2 double beds. So please plan accordingly. They don't have a sofa and they don't have cots. So make sure when you're thinking of having roommates that you know that there is only 2 beds in the room, and we cannot add sofas, cut, or anything else. Then we have additional requests. So some people will need a crib. Some people have medication that needs to be refrigerated. So put refrigerator, and then adjoining rooms. So John Test wants 2 rooms because he has a bunch of little kids. So you do want to click on these adjoining rooms. And as you see if you click it off, it disappears. If you click it on, who would you like to have adjoining rooms with? So he would put his spouse's name. So Jane Test. They need to have, and you can specify, we have little kids, need connecting rooms. Okay, so anything that you need, you add that. You can also add some families that want to at least be on the same floor, if not adjoining rooms. So add that, and all that will help the hotel. The more information you give, the better. So they can place you where you want to. They do their best. Of course, we cannot get 100% of everything that everybody needs, but at least if we have the information, we can try and make that happen. Then we have special needs. So hard of hearing, handicap, wheelchair, food allergies, any of that, just put it on this special needs setting. Now, the Pirate Cruise and the zoo tickets. So this is an extra activity. This is not a mandatory activity. It just makes it very easy because we can get a group discount and just basically have the entire Pirate Cruise for our group, and we can control the food that they serve. So we know it follows our food laws. So that's why we offer these activities. And with the zoo, it's the same thing. We can have a group discount. If you want to read more about what each one of those entail, go to general information, and here it says activities. All the information is here. Okay, so once you decide if you want to go to the Puerto Vallarta Zoo or the Pirate Cruise activity, you can go back to your form and you can add tickets. For the zoo, we're more flexible in the amount of tickets that we have. But for the Pirate Cruise, we only have booked 1 ship. So it's about 180 tickets that we can sell. So once those are paid for, they're locked in. And once they're sold out, there's nothing we can do. So you can select however many tickets you want. Maybe for the zoo, this person wants 2 adults, and maybe 5 children, and maybe they have 1 infant. If you want to buy tickets for somebody in your group that as a surprise, or if you just want to keep all the tickets together under 1 room, that is okay. So if you just want to put all the tickets under one of the room registrations, that is allowed. So you don't need, it doesn't have to match the amount of people that you entered that are staying in that room. If you want to keep it separate, then just put the amount of tickets that you need for the people staying in this room, and that's perfectly fine. So now that we filled out our entire form, we don't see any of the red circles anymore. It's all the green check marks. We can go ahead and go to next step. So the next step is going to be your volunteer opportunities and radio sign up. So the first section is if you would like to volunteer, you just click on whichever areas you would like to serve, and then the department head will contact you and put you on a schedule. Here is additional comments. If you play an instrument, if you have past experience, if you've done it before, if you're bilingual, anything that could help us, that can help the coordinators, just add it to this volunteer additional comments. Some of the sections, like other, will open a section that you can specify which area you would like to serve. Speaking also opens up another area that you can that you must select. So anything in this area, if you sign up, doesn't necessarily mean that you will be chosen, but it really helps, so it lightens the load for everyone that is volunteering. The last section on step 3 is radio rental for translation during services. So you can read through this. You can bring your own FM radio to listen to the translation, or you can rent the radio for $10 at the feast. You'll get to keep them for the 9 days. You can return them on the last day. The only detail is that you don't pay through this form. You gotta just sign up, and then the first day of the feast, that Sunday, we'll have a table right by the lobby, and you're gonna pick up your radio and you're gonna pay the $10. It's too hard to do refunds for people canceling, so we just take payments once you actually pick up the radio. So if you wanna rent one, you say yes, and how many you wanna rent. Again, if you wanna rent some for family members that are not gonna rent it later, or for your spouse, you can just put that full amount here. So in this account, you had 6 people, so maybe they want 4 radios, and then we'll save those 4 radios for your group. You'll check in and check out your radio once you get to the hotel. And that's it for form for step 3. Then you go to the next step, and this is your ground transportation. So to make it easy, once you arrive to the airport in Puerto Vallarta, we have contracted the services of VIP taxi services. They are located inside of the airport. They have an office there, and they will have a sign with the UCG logo once you arrive. If you do sign up and you enter your flight information, we will be sending this about a week before the feast, and they will have your info, and they'll know to look for you. So right now we haven't finalized the contract. So last year it was $15 and $30 for up to 6 people. We don't know exactly how much it's going to be this year. Once it's updated, we'll update the pricing, but it's going to be probably fairly close to those. This is just to sign up to go from the airport to the hotel. Once you have to go back from the hotel to the airport, you just call the bellboys in the hotel, and they'll call a taxi, and you're on your own. But this is just for arrivals. A lot of people haven't bought their tickets yet, so they won't know this information. It's not mandatory for you to fill it out anytime soon. As long as it's there a week before the feast, you should be okay. So you can say yes right now if you know that you will use it. It's going to help us for planning purposes. And then you can just, how many people, airline and flight number, once you buy your tickets, when you arrive, estimated date of arrival. Now, a lot of times people, families are coming in different flights. So if you would like to input for another person, you can just say yes, and it will open up a section so you can input that person's flight information. If you have 3 flights under one account, then you can always use additional information. So it will give you the flexibility this year to put more than just 1 flight. If you put your flight number, VIP taxi company will be tracking that flight number, so you don't need to tell us if the flight is late an hour or 30 minutes. Like I said, they are always there at the airport, so they can so they are very flexible on timing. They just have taxis come and going all the time, so you don't need to worry if your flight is late a few hours. Just they will be tracking that flight number to make sure, especially for really late flights. So once you enter that, you should be pretty much set. And they're also flexible on the number of people that are coming. So a lot of people, they see other church people and they all just carpool together in the van, and that helps with the pricing. You will pay the taxi directly once you get to once you go inside of the taxi. That's when they take your payment. So make sure you have cash. You can pay in dollars or in pesos, but dollars is probably better. There is an exchange house inside of the airport if you want to get some Mexican pesos, but Puerto Vallarta, basically, you can do anything with dollars. They will take that everywhere. Okay, so that's it for ground transportation. Again, this is information that you can enter down the line once you have your information. We don't request for you to fill this out anytime soon. And then we go to next step. So now you just have to confirm your choices. You're going to see the room rates. So because we selected one adult and one child, you see the prices. So this is how much it is for day 1, day 2, day 3, 4, 5, all the way through 9. And then you're going to see your tickets. So if you do not want to pay for that, or you change your mind, you can say remove units, and that will remove the tickets. If you need to add more, you're going to have to go back to your step 2 form and add the tickets there. So you can, here you can only remove, you cannot add. But if you need to add, go back to step 2. The same with the Pirate Cruise tickets. So now you see that everything is okay for this room. You have all the pricing looks correct, and you go to next step. Here is your checkout. So you can choose, you will have to pay the deposit within the first 7 days. If you don't pay it, we'll just cancel the link for this form, and it will no longer be valid. You will have to do it again if you wait longer than 7 days. So make sure that you pay the $300 deposit for this room. You have 2 options. You can do an e-check, or you can do a credit card. If you do a credit card, you will have a convenience fee of it's 2.5%, so it's about $7. There's nothing we can do about this. The website charges that. So this is not something that we can discount, unfortunately. But if you don't want to get the processing fee, you can always do an e-check, and that's for free. So if you have some of the major banks, Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, and you have an online account with them, you can start the Start Bank Account ownership confirmation process. So it will log on to your account, and you will be able to pay through that. If you don't have a major bank, then if your bank is not listed, you can follow these instructions. They will have to do 2 micropayments, and then you will have to verify them. And once they verify them, you will be able, the $300 processing will go through. So just FYI, if the credit cards, they usually go in automatically. The e-checks, they take a little bit longer. So you can click charge me the $300, and then you will be done until August 15th, when we have the final payment. Okay, so that is room 1. Now, if you have a second room, you have to go back to your dashboard, and you're going to do exactly the same for the second room. So you just do complete registration. You can read through this, and then you just go to housing reservations. And this time it's going to be for another family member. So most likely this is going to be your spouse that is staying with some of the other kids in the room. So maybe there is 3 people here. We have 1 adult, maybe 2 children, and a baby. And then you fill out the information the same as you did on the other one. Now, because you put that you have 3 people, well, let's say 4 people, which is the max, you will have to fill out the information for each one of them. So you have your second guest, third guest, and fourth guest. Okay, and the same rule applies to the ages. If you have a small child, please make sure you put their age so we can plan accordingly for the toys and youth education. So the same number of nights. Sometimes people will arrive at different times, different nights. So if that's the case, then this doesn't have to match the other room that you did. This room is completely separate, so your check-in and check-out for this room can be different. So here you have your upgraded fee. Now, if you want adjoining rooms and the other person selected the upgrade above the 7th floor, then you will also have to select the upgrade on this one. So otherwise, we'll be emailing you saying, what do you want to do? You have one yes, one no, and you need adjoining rooms. So now we have the same, additional requests, special needs, and then the tickets. If you already put the tickets as part of your other room, you don't need to fill this out. If these are separate and you do want to add the tickets, so the rooms are completely separate, then you can go ahead and add the tickets to this. And again, the tickets, this is not a decision that you have to make within the 7 days. You can come back and select this as long as they are available. So you can always come back to your step 2 form and add them here. And then it's going to take you back to your volunteer and sign up, and then your radios, and then you go through ground transportation. So it is exactly the same that we already went through. And then go to next step. And then here you would see, if I would have selected all the orders, you would see that there is the $300 deposit. This year, we don't have group pay like we did last year, where you could pay for all the rooms at once for the deposit. So you will have to go in for each room and pay. So if you have 2 rooms, you will have to make 2 credit card transactions, each one for $300. So that's it, folks. It is pretty straightforward. I hope this has helped you. And as I said, if you have any questions, you can always put it on Facebook. You can put it on this video. Remember, the easiest way to navigate through your forms is to just click on the status bar. The status bar is going to be here, and you see all your forms. You can go back anytime, change the information. You don't need to contact us every time you have a change. Your check-in and check-out changes, just come back in and log in and change it. Once final payment goes through August 15th, that's when it's tougher to make changes, and you will have to contact us because all the accounts will be locked. Because then, we're going to have to deal with refunds and other things. And then if your pricing is not changing, but your check-in and check-out is, and we have already sent the information to the hotel, that's when you also contact us. But most of the time, 99% of the time, you can do all the changes yourself. Also, the one thing I forgot to show you, when you're in your going through the forms, there is not a back button, there is only a submit or go to next step, but you can navigate through all the forms. All what you have to do is go at the top, right next to your name, you're going to see all the forms. So you can go back and forth as much as you need. So you just want to jump to ground transportation, that's fine. You want to jump to volunteer opportunities, just any of those forms are available. Just click on the status bar, just roll over it, and you'll see that it shows up. So I think that's about it. Any questions that I can answer from the comments from the people that are online? Nope. Okay, so I guess you guys should be good to go. I showed you how to get to the forms. I showed you how to change tickets. The only way to do split payments is if you're doing 2 separate rooms. If you're doing one room with several roommates, we cannot split those payments. So one of you will have to pay and then just get the money from everyone else. And then for refunds, if you need to, the $300 is refundable 45 days from the date that you made the payment. And then your final payment in August will be refundable for a month. So just keep those dates in mind. So anyway, I think that's about it. We'll see you all Sunday morning, and we'll be online if you need to message us or email us. We will be available all Sunday to answer any questions and work through any of the problems that you might be having. So thank you all. See you Sunday.